Hi everybody, this is Alice Bejeweled Hedgehog, here for another vlog. Okay, so, I got back from my sister's a few minutes ago, and, yeah, I was just feeling tired, and today's been one of those icky days where, I have a headache, and it's not really bad enough to, it's not intensely painful, but it never really goes away, and it just makes me want to grrr. Anyhow, so much for the growling. Yeah, and then I was over at my sister's and I was running stuff in and out of the house. And the thing that I hate is their neighborhood seems to have more. Now I'm getting itchy just talking about it. They seem to have more mosquitoes. Actually, they really do, because in one part of their neighborhood, they have like these drainage ditch things that have this, standing water in it. But anyhow, they have those teeny tiny little mosquitoes. When I was a kid, mosquitoes seemed to be like big, and you could see them, you could swat them really easily. But yeah, they have the teeny tiny ones, but they make itchy bites, and those itchy bites don't go away. So anyhow, yeah, so I got bitten. And, we try everything, bug sprays, and she has these little, like, coiled plastic bracelet things that have, I think they have citronella oil, or they're infused with something that's supposed to be, safe to go against your skin, and you're supposed to slide them over your wrists and your ankles, and they use when you go out, and the bugs won't get you. Ducky says she was actually, I'm sorry, my nose is itchy. I've got to stop talking about mosquitoes or you're going to watch me scratch all through this video. Yeah, Ducky says she was actually bitten under one of her bracelets. Anyway, I am Ducky free this evening. I miss Ducky. Tomorrow is her first day of school. I just think it's funny. All the years that I was in school, now of course, that was quite a while ago, we always started the Tuesday after Labor Day. And I mean, that was just the rule. It was really, your first week was a short week. And yeah, I just think it's kind of baffling. The county schools started this past Monday, so they're going to go for a full week before Labor Day. And then Ducky's private school is, completely mysterious and wants them to go Thursday and Friday. So I've heard all kinds of things. My sister was saying that it's to ease them back in. I have no clue. I really don't have any idea. I know we have been surprised. Some years we have more snow days than other years, and kids have had to go longer in the summer. So maybe what they're trying to do is, like, kind of front load the whole thing, so if there are snow days, then you don't get stuck having to go extra days at the end of the year. But anyway, yeah, just a mystery. And I got some comments from other people on my video last night. Thank you. I have not really had the time to sit down and answer everybody's comments, well, anybody's comments actually, but I have been reading them and I love them, and thank you so much. And tomorrow I am going to just be relaxing at home. Well, maybe not all the time, but yeah, so anyway, I am going to sit back and relax and do Alice things. So let's see, is there anything exciting happening? No. I just did a video because I got a lovely billfold I ordered from Marina. Marina Rocks Toronto is her YouTube station, and she is the daughter of Monica, and Monica's channel is Kids Lids, and it's spelled KYDZLYDZ, I think. Which I think is a really cute name, because she does a lot of the really cute fancy hats, for kids and adults. But anyhow, so I just think that's really cool. And I was actually so tired and just kind of grumpy this evening that I wasn't going to do any video, any vlog at all. But then my little envelope, which I have around here somewhere, said please open on camera. And I couldn't wait, you know, until I felt later. I thought, well, maybe I'll just do one tomorrow. But I couldn't, so I did a vlog. I mean, I did a video, a mail video. Boy, I'm not making any sense. And so now I figured, I got the camera plugged into the computer. Well, the little webcam thingy, I don't know what it is. Actually, I do. It's an HD webcam C310 by Logitech. Ha! Ha ha ha. Okay, so, all right, stop thinking about mosquitoes. I'm probably actually not going to do a, oh, forget it. I'm not even going to try and fix it. I'm probably not going to do a cast off yet again because I am still working on this sweater. It's a fabulous sweater pattern and I really love it. Let me just pull it up really quickly. This is, I am just making no sense whatsoever, but anyhow, this will get sewn together and you will see it. This puffy thing right here is a sleeve. Probably makes more sense when I hold it like this. A sleeve. This is part of the other sleeve that is going to be a front. And as you can see, it's all done in one single piece, so that really all you have to do is go along and sew up the two sides and then put buttons on the front, and then you do some single crochet reductions to pull this in. This is Bob Wilson 123's pattern, and it's lovely, and I am making something, you know, for my sister to give as a gift. But you know, for some reason I like to do things, you know, obviously I like to make gifts, but when it comes to crafting and crocheting, since it is recreational for me, you know, as opposed to a business, I like to just do whatever the whim hits me. So I have been controlling my unfinished objects. I might have 3 or 4 projects going on at once, but at least 2 of them have to be, you know, like if there's 4 done, 4 unfinished, 2 have to get finished before new ones come out, because I just get these urges sometimes. I mean, I'm in the middle of finishing the baby stuff, and I just had the urge to pull out some of my fancy yarns. I just wanted to make scarves, and the really cool thing about the fancy yarns is, you know, you don't know what's coming. It's, I don't know, did you ever grow magic rocks when you were a kid? The sea monkeys, by the way, if anybody remembers sea monkeys, those were a terrible, terrible disappointment. But this is not a disappointment. So this is more like, you know, this is a good thing, not a bad thing. This is the scarf that I had been working on. And see the pretty colors. I'm not going to give you too much detail because this really will be for cast off. But yeah, that's the cool thing. This is my last ball. And the rhythm yarn that I talked about last night. And then I had 2 other skeins of yarn. It was just ordinary variegated. It was Malabrigo, I think. Silky Merino. But anyhow, it's variegated, but you know, the colors are really unique and cool. And I don't know why, I'm just rambling away. I just had the urge to sit down and make scarves out of really pretty yarn. And so I've been thinking about it. Yeah, I'm going to finish up my sister's baby stuff. And then I think what I'll do is I will keep some baby stuff on hand. And that way, if I get asked for a gift without a lot of lead time, I will just pull out a couple of things and say, take your pick. Because one of the things I really love is being able, sometimes I just get an urge to feel a certain type of yarn. I started, maybe 3 months ago, making a shawl out of some peach-colored, I believe it's Lily Sugar and Cream, some light peach-colored mill-end cotton. And I just felt like making a shawl, and I felt like a pastel color, which is not my normal range of colors, but I just really wanted to feel the yarn and see that particular color. And I don't know if other people get that way. I mean, I will just be, sometimes I will get an idea. You know, I will want to create a certain, I want to see how a certain idea works out. And then other times I just get an urge for a type of yarn, like a very thin yarn or a very thick chunky yarn, or to make a certain kind of thing. And yeah, so I just sort of flip from one thing to another. I do have craft ADD, but in this case I don't fight it too hard unless I start piling up on unfinished things. And yes, I am looking at my UFO basket because it is time to finish. I did an Afghan crochet along way back in the spring, and I have all the strips done in the mile minute Afghan, and I have all but 3 of them attached. And it started getting really hot, and I didn't want to attach them for the birthday in November. But by the end of September, I want to have all the pieces attached. I want to have it laundered and wrapped up and sitting in the closet so that when Kat's birthday comes in November, it just comes out of the closet, over to her house, no worries. I love no worries. Yeah, as for ideas, this particular yarn, Rhythm, has been by JoJo Lind, has been giving me a lot of ideas. As you can see here, well, there are some color jumps when I change balls, but it looks like it has 3 colors per strand. It's a worsted weight, and it kind of blends along, and it looks like they do the blending by shifting. You know, if there's 3 colors, they shift one color with another one, and then they go along and they shift another color with another one, and then they'll go along, and you know, all sorts of possibilities. And I was just thinking what would be really, really cool. Knit Picks makes Palette. Palette is a very fine fingering weight yarn, which I do not have sitting around me right now. And I think it would be really cool at some point, my long list of things I want to craft, to kind of make my own mix by taking 3 strands of Palette and, you know, putting 3 of them together for a while, and then shifting one, and then shifting another, and then shifting another, and just go through this whole color spectrum and kind of make my own yarn mix. And or another thing I could do is take a base color like brown or black and keep one of the strands as always, you know, brown or black, and then the other 2 strands can just keep changing whatever length I choose. So now I have that in my head. I think I'm going to ask my sister for birthday/Christmas for just a big pile of palette to just play with, and you know, pursue that idea. Whenever I have time. Yeah, right. Okay, so what else is going on? Yep, depression is a nuisance. I cannot always change the way it makes me feel. I still have some of that feeling of, well, for one thing, I get physically more tired more easily when I am depressed, and I get this feeling of everything is overwhelming. You know, I have a headache, and you know, right over there is the bathroom with the medicine cabinet in it and the Tylenol, and I'll find myself thinking, okay, I've got to get up. I've got to go and take the Tylenol. And it's like, really? Yeah. So anyhow, yeah, I mean, I have just been not fighting it so much anymore, because when I fight it, what I tend to do is get angry at myself for feeling that way. And I have this tendency to just sort of despise myself for it. Like, why do you feel this way? Why can't you just, you know, slap yourself around and do it? So I will just, you know, sort of say, yeah, everything feels so hard right now. It really does feel like crap right now. But you know what? Let's just go take the Tylenol. So I have found it is easier when I just kind of accept it. You know, it's sort of like when you have a really bad flu and you keep trying to schedule things, you know, you keep trying to go to work or clean your house or do your laundry, and then one of these, you know, and then finally at some point you just sit down and you say, oh God, I have a fever, I have chest congestion, I can't do a thing, and you call in sick, you just put your laundry back in the closet and linen closet and laundry basket, whatever, and that's the end of that, and you just go to bed. And it doesn't mean you feel any better or anything is any different, but you've just stopped fighting it. And I think that this does not mean that I'm going to sit around with a box of tissues and boo-hoo-hoo all the time. This just means I'm going to accept that this happens to me periodically, and I'm just going to deal with it. And if I do less because I'm motivated to do less, that's okay. Yeah. There are some things I have to do. I have to, keep up with certifications for work. And, not that it's really all that difficult. You just have to, keep up with the current terminology and the current stuff. And so I have, a couple of things I have to actually be studying for, so that you can take online classes. A lot of people take, in-person classes or whatever. But I have often found that when it's not a new concept, it's just assimilation of information. I assimilate information most easily when I'm alone with a book. And I've always been that way. If someone wants to introduce a new idea, a new thought, not math like arithmetic, but a new concept, a new mathematical concept, then I need a teacher. But for instance, if it's like history, I do very well reading the book, memorizing the info, and then the people are good to discuss ideas with and concepts with. But if I just want to suck up some information and spit it back out on a test, it goes so much faster with the book. The interest level is what's challenging, though. I happen to be reading right now. I do have my book here. C.S. Friedman, Feast of Souls. If you like sci-fi and fantasy, she writes both. She's really fascinating. She used to be a costume designer before she was a writer. Now, this one is called her Magister Trilogy. And she's got book 1 and book 2 out in paperback. And book 3 is coming out in paperback in September. It's still only in hardback right now, so I don't have that one. Which is fine, because I've just discovered her. But some of her books are sci-fi. Some of her standalone books are sci-fi. She has a trilogy called the Cold Fire Trilogy, which is kind of a mix of sci-fi and fantasy. And then this one is straight fantasy, and I know the cover looks kind of ridiculous. I don't know why they do that. Do they really think cleavage is, like, gonna sell? Oh, well, I guess they do think cleavage is going to sell, but it annoys me, but I'm not just adapting to it. So anyhow, it's a fascinating concept, and this particular world, all magic drains your energy, your life energy. They call it your soul fire. And among women, women are not able to become magisters. Men become magisters, and magisters seem to be virtually immortal, and they have to go through a trial to become a magister, and many of them don't pass, many of them die, but if they do pass this test, they become immortal, and no woman has ever passed it. So the premise of this book, at least as far as I've gotten, is pretty interesting. There is a young woman who has a phenomenal amount of power, more power than most people are born with, and she goes to a former magister to train, and he goes ahead and trains her. And apparently what happens is, normally with the women, the witches, as they use their soul power, their soul fire, to perform magic and healing, it lessens their lifespan, and if they use too much of it, they die. And so she goes to become a magister, and the magister has her using magic right and left, because apparently to pass this magister test, you have to drain your soul fire. And what happens, of course, is within a period of just a few years, she reaches the point where she has drained her soul fire, and then she's about to die. And just as she's about to die, she senses energy all around her, and she grabs hold of some of it and pulls it in, and she survives. So she is the first one to have done that. And of course now she sets off on her journey to go to, like, the association or academy or whatever of magisters, and officially become one. But what it turns out happens is they are, in a sense, like life force vampires. And on the point of death, the energies that they find are actually other people's energies. And every time they perform magic, once they reach that point, they are draining other people's energy. And then there's something, she does very elaborate worlds with really a lot of subplots. And there's a king's son, and this is what all magisters dread, because the interesting thing is you have no awareness of whose energy you're draining. You know that you're draining people, but you don't know who. Whereas the magisters keep this a secret, of course, because everyone would want to destroy them if they knew that random people's energy was just being drained to fuel them. So there's never been any magister who has ever tried to make a connection between themselves and the person they're draining energy from. And the people whose energy is being drained get this strange sickness called the wasting sickness, which the magisters who are healers try and come in and cover up what the real source is, because they know that that person's energy is being drained. They just don't know by who. So and they've always lived in fear that somebody important politically will get the wasting sickness, and that with all the ruckus and all the attention focused on that person, someone might make the connection. And so, of course, in the opening chapters of this book, that one of the king's sons is one of the many kings has a son who's being drained of energy. So, sorry if I rambled on and on. I just love these books with these big, intricate plots. And this is a big, intricate plot. And I'm having fun. And I should be studying, but I'm not. So anyway, I am very tired. I have rambled a lot. Thank you for commenting. Please comment more. And I will comment back. Anyway, everybody have a very great night. Bye.